Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into some seriously fascinating research today on how to basically conquer screen time, beat that dreaded technology burnout, and finally reclaim our attention. If you've ever felt like your devices are running your daily routine instead of the other way around, you are definitely not alone. We're going to dig into exactly what the data says about building better digital habits for our focus and, honestly, our overall well-being.
So let's start with a really direct question to kind of shake up how we think about our habits. Are you proactive or reactive with your tech? Just really think about that for a second. Do you treat a low battery notification from a random app with the exact same level of urgency as, say, a direct text message from your family, right? If your phone buzzes, do you instantly jump, no matter what it is? If some random software update ping gets the exact same immediate response as a message from a loved one, well, it might be time to rethink that whole dynamic.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, proactive versus reactive technology. Second, your digital habits inventory. Third, leveraging your brain's rhythms. And finally, experts and further reading.
All right, Section 1, proactive versus reactive technology. Let's take a hard look at the foundational way we interact with our screens every single day.
The absolute first step to digital wellness involves a pretty major mindset shift. On one hand, you have reactive tech use. This is basically existing in a totally passive state, just letting every single notification, buzz, and beep dictate exactly where your attention goes. It puts you completely at the mercy of the device. But on the flip side, we have proactive tech use. The research identifies this as a highly intentional state of control with firm boundaries. In this state, you decide when to pick up the phone and when to pop open the laptop. It's a total game changer.
Which brings us to Section 2, your digital habits inventory. Look, to get proactive, we really need to know where we're starting from by doing a quick audit of our devices.
Now, what's really interesting here is that a striking 60% of people just completely surrender their control by leaving all of their notifications on by default. 60%. That means the vast majority of us are literally allowing app developers to decide when our focus gets interrupted. Crazy, right? Only 40% of people have actually gone into their settings and customized their notifications. We absolutely want to make sure we're operating in that intentional 40%.
To get there, the sources suggest breaking this down into 5 critical areas for a digital habits inventory. Those areas are notifications, browser tabs, screen time data, streaming platforms, and finally, gaming and social media limits. Let's tackle them one by one.
Step 1 is notifications. There is a fantastic rule of thumb from the experts here. Notifications from people, not products. I love that. With the super rare exception of vital health and safety apps, we simply do not need to be interrupted by a product. It is incredibly helpful to go right into your iOS or Android settings, look at that app list, and just ruthlessly filter out the unnecessary alerts. Keep only the ones that truly matter in the moment.
Step 2 takes us to the web browser. I want you to think about how many tabs you currently have open right now. Be honest. Every single open tab is essentially a visual invitation, encouraging constant task switching, and task switching heavily drains the brain's energy. Limiting those tabs drastically enhances focus. If you're someone who really struggles with this, the source material actually suggests using browser add-ins like Xtab for Chrome or Limit Tabs for Firefox. These physically prevent you from opening too many pages at once.
Moving on to Step 3, screen time. Now, when you check Apple Screen Time or Android's digital well-being, the general consensus is this: do not overanalyze the daily data. Humans have this natural tendency to obsess over these numbers, and honestly, that can just add more stress to your plate. Instead, use these tools as a periodic weekly or monthly benchmark. The real insights come from just occasionally checking which apps you use the most and paying really close attention to the time of that very first pickup in the morning.
Steps 4 and 5 cover streaming, gaming, and social media. When it comes to streaming, leaving autoplay on across platforms like Netflix and Hulu carries an incredibly high risk of binge watching, especially late at night when fatigue sets in and your willpower is just gone. Turning autoplay off forces intentional viewing choices. It literally requires you to make an active click to watch the next episode. And the exact same logic applies to gaming and social media. Using built-in app limiters on your phone or gaming console protects your time when those mental defenses are down.
All right, Section 3, leverage your brain's rhythms. Now that we've cleaned up our digital environment, let's talk about how to align it with our biology.
Let's define the word chronotype. It's basically the behavioral classification system of underlying circadian rhythms, used to help us understand our sleep and productivity schedules. The crucial point here is that by understanding your specific chronotype, You know, whether you're naturally a morning lark or a night owl, you can accurately map your most intense, screen-heavy, deep work to your natural biological energy peaks. It's all about working with the body instead of fighting it.
Next up, the research points to a sort of magic formula for your biological hardware, meaning your eyes in your brain. The formula is 20-20-20. It's a highly effective tool to combat that digital eye strain and the mental fatigue that builds up from just staring at pixels all day long.
Let's break down this 20-20-20 rule, because it is a super practical, science-backed habit you can implement during any workday. Here's how it works. For every 20 minutes spent using a screen, you actively look away at something that's roughly 20 feet away, and you hold that gaze for a total of 20 seconds. That's it. Doing this allows the ciliary muscles in your eyes to completely relax and sends a really quick, restorative recharge signal right to your brain.
Now, to properly time those screen breaks, a fantastic method is the Pomodoro technique. This brilliantly illustrates how pacing your workflow totally maximizes productivity. The technique basically involves 25 minutes of highly focused work stretches, immediately broken up by 5 minutes of break time. Free browser add-ins can easily track this for you. And during that 5-minute break, it's the absolutely perfect opportunity to step away, do that 20-20-20 eye rest, and return to your screen completely refreshed.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 4, Experts and Further Reading. Let's look at how all of this builds into a wider ecosystem of knowledge for those of you eager to deepen these proactive digital habits.
The concepts we've discussed today are actually validated by some really intense academic study. For instance, if you want to understand the true cognitive cost of bouncing between browser tabs, Gloria Mark's research on task switching is just incredible. If the constant demands of your devices feel completely overwhelming, Manideepa Taravdar's extensive research on technostress perfectly explores that exact phenomenon. And to understand the mechanics of truly disconnecting at the end of the workday, Sabine Sonnentag's work on psychological detachment is absolutely essential reading.
And hey, beyond the academics, here are some highly recommended books and organizations to explore at your own pace. Books like Rewired by Carl D. Marce, Attention Span by Gloria Mark, Stolen Focus by Johan Hari, and Indistractable by Nir Eyal all offer fantastic deep dives. For broader industry insights, the Digital Wellness Institute and tech ethics groups like All Tech is Human are great follows. Oh, and for parents trying to manage screen time at home, Unplug HQ provides some totally excellent foundational resources. So we have covered a whole lot of ground in this explainer today, from turning off autoplay to understanding the biological importance of our chronotypes. So I'll leave you with this. What is the very first digital habit you are going to upgrade today? Will you finally turn off those product notifications or maybe limit your browser tabs? Picking just one proactive step puts you right back in the driver's seat of your technology. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you next time.